Joe. And welcome everybody to Business Monday. I'm Josh Fenton. We are in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. She is Megan Decker from G Media Studios. Let's see, happy Thanksgiving week. It is a little dark and gloomy in downtown Providence here on Wade Bossett Street. It is cold. I thought that we were turning into the summer season, but it is not. No. It is not turning out that way, but I guess the rest of the country is getting hit with snowstorms and all sorts of awful things, so I guess we can count our lucky stars. It's a crazy week in commerce. It's a crazy week in business. We just had Black Friday, big numbers on Black Friday. Might have been the best Black Friday yet, certainly in the last 5 years, according to the early retail numbers. Cyber Monday is today, looking like it will definitely be a record number for Cyber Monday. Let's just go back to Friday. Big numbers online on Black Friday. Every indication up and away. Will we be closing retailers in the next recession? I mean, is online just growing so quickly, and the experience is so much better? Is the experience better?
For me, for the past
You have twins.
Yeah.
You do have to disclose she has twins.
I've lived on Amazon. No, I think we're going to see some good numbers for Cyber Monday as well. I think it's just the way to go. It just makes things a lot easier. Did you do any Black Friday shopping?
I did, not in a store. I really try to avoid stores and just don't really enjoy it. There are some things where the touch and feel kind of matters. You know, it's hard to buy a couch online unless you've shopped it in person ahead of time.
I bought a couch online.
And how did it work out?
Amazing.
Did it?
And I waited till New Year's Eve.
And did you get an unbelievable deal?
Yes.
And was
half the price.
And was it so good that if it didn't work out, it would have been okay?
Yes.
That's a pretty good deal, right? I think that's
because I have twins.
Right. So the shelf life of a couch in your household is?
We're probably going to get another one on Christmas Eve. Again.
A year? Is that what they're good for?
1 year, we're good to go.
Okay. They just don't make sippy cups like they used to, right?
No, they really don't.
The numbers certainly indicate that almost any demographic of consumer is now completely comfortable making purchases online as well. The other trend you're starting to see that I think brick and mortar is trying to push is buy it online, pick it up at the store kind of thing.
Sure.
To be able to compete with an Amazon Prime and 48-hour delivery functionally. Is that an opportunity for them to save themselves, to get you into the store, or at least they get you into the parking lot and a chance that you're going to come in and pick up a couple other things while you're there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the draw is to, ideally make it the most easiest, seamless possible opportunity outside of online shopping. But once you're there, you're automatically thinking, what else might I need here? Right? I've already paid to park or found my spot. There's probably one or two things that I might as well run in and grab.
And on the case of Small Business Saturday, which didn't seem to get the same push.
It didn't get a lot of buzz, which I was disappointed to see. I would like to see more.
I think they need to move it. They're stuck between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. They need to be New Hampshire, like political primaries. They need to be a week earlier or something like that.
Like Small Business Sunday.
Something earlier before the rest of it. You work with ranges of different businesses. What's the sense you're getting from some of your clients? And I know some are B2B, but the ones who are trying to talk directly to consumers, what is it that they're seeing in the experience between, brick and mortar and online?
Well, I think it goes back again to the data and how do you use it and how do you leverage it to the best opportunity for your organization. And I think what I'm seeing a lot is we get the data, but we don't actually, we're not kind of flipping that back to a human experience and what they want, and really looking at a person as a human,
right.
Not just their data profile and segments of what makes them up as to who they are. So I think it's definitely still making sure that you're, especially the holiday season, pulling at the heartstrings of your consumers, but more so just making it something that they can relate to and still be interested in getting for Q1.
Speaking of data and non-human, let's jump over to Facebook.
Your favorite.
Facebook has had a rough couple of weeks. I thought they were going to have a rough third quarter, and their numbers were spectacular. But we're now in fourth quarter, and they're having as many bumps as just about anybody could have. Zuckerberg's run into some PR problems. The New York Times broke a story that one of their PR agencies was really trying to undermine journalists who were writing about the company. In some cases, allegedly false information about those journalists or those news organizations. There's word out of the European Union that I guess in the UK that they've got their hands on some very damaging data against Facebook about their strategy and maybe some activities that are not appropriate, whether they're illegal to be determined. But here's the flip side. Numbers are last 30 days, 2.1 billion users. 2.4 macro, but in the last 30 days, 2.1 users. Revenue continues to grow. We can all complain about it, but is it just such a monstrous machine that even if it unraveled 10%, what's that, 200 million people off, and they still at 2 billion? I mean, really not a factor.
It's not a factor. I mean, I think obviously I was surprised that their numbers keep going up. I thought third quarter and fourth quarter were going to be difficult for them. But as you're still seeing the increase, I still think they'll have their day.
Yeah.
It might not be tomorrow and it might not be in Q1, but I think...
Is that wishful thinking by the marketer in you that wants to go back to a more level playing field?
No. I just think at the end of the day, and you know what, like I've worked with Facebook, I've worked with Instagram, I've worked with all of these organizations, and I love the people there, and I just think that the interest from the consumer is going to go down.
And who leaves first? Probably the most famous personal technology writer was Walter Mossberg, who left the Wall Street Journal a couple of years ago and just retired from Recode, I think is where he left most recently. But he has been hammering Facebook on his tweets. Is it going to be the intelligentsia who never really bought in? If you're reading the New Republic, you're probably not on Facebook. Is it the intelligentsia who's going to leave? And for the rest of the country, who cares, right? I mean, there's such a disconnect between that 1% of the population who never got it, never liked it, didn't want to see cat videos anyways, and the rest of us.
I don't even think it's really a matter of of our target audiences. At the end of the day, I think it's just going to be a generational thing. It's us and our grandparents that are on Facebook.
Okay, but if you go to Instagram, they're owned by Facebook, right? Is there any sign?
My mom coming over with me
to Instagram?
Yeah, she's doing good.
I have to say, a semi-famous artist that I know, fairly famous, has a national reputation. A couple months ago, announced that he was leaving Facebook. And that he was going to Instagram. A number of people pointed out that that's another Facebook company, but he was done with it. He didn't care. He couldn't stand the political, and he's back on Facebook. Like, is it crack cocaine? Is it that you have to be a part of it, or you're missing something of what's going on in your community, your family, the world? Or is it just a real business necessity that if you're trying to get attention to your good, your service, your viewpoint, whatever it might be, that it's a necessary evil, whether you like it or not?
It's a necessary evil.
You heard it here first. We broke her down. We didn't even use the waterboarding technique.
You weren't taping that, right?
At the end of this Christmas season, what are the big ahas going to be? What are people going to walk away in business and say, wow, I didn't realize X? That's question one. And the second question is, I should have Y. What are those?
Consumer standpoint?
No, from a business standpoint. What's going to be the big surprise?
Interesting. From a marketing perspective,
yeah.
I would say that you're going to see the big aha of 2018.
Yeah. Holiday
Why
season.
didn't I do anything with my consumer data?
Yeah.
Why didn't I leverage that to the best of my ability?
Is there just a lot of smart data that people are just leaving in the proverbial pile in the corner? Like, I collected it all.
Absolutely.
I used to get the Wall Street Journal in paper version about 10 years ago, probably for 2 or 3 years. It would come in, I'd pick it up at my office, and I'd put it in a pile over there, and probably 1 out of 10 of them did I actually read the Wall Street Journal. Think how much smarter I'd be. Is it that everybody's collecting data? Listen, you're in business today, you're getting tons of insights from your Facebook. If you have an email strategy, there's tons of data from your email strategy. Google Analytics gives you tons of analysis. If you're just doing those basics, you have a lot of data. How many folks are actually looking at it?
13%.
13%? Is that a wild guess, or is that a statistically?
No, that's a wild guess, but that's what I would say. I think everybody knows and understands that we have to have all this profile and data information about our consumer. We need to know all of this stuff, but then how it's actually used and leveraged, I don't.
Is there so much data, and that we've got a generation of people who are leading companies, who are heads of marketing, who aren't data analysts, right? They didn't get trained in that. They got trained in, if you're head of marketing, you got trained in working with your sales strategy, branding, maybe promotion, maybe some cool interactive stuff early on. But you didn't learn how to do high degrees of statistical analysis, A/B test everything, build all that organizational structure in. And even the super smart companies aren't always A/B testing. Headlines every day is what the offer is for the 4 o'clock CBS promotion.
Yeah, no, I mean, even right now, we're doing tons of research and analysis, moreover than even some of the marketing initiatives that we're doing.
Yeah.
It's been just
Data.
Focus groups, the whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
just to really understand the emotional perspective of how people feel about the brands.
Okay,
Goes right back to traditional.
so data 1 is going to be on the second part, I should have is going to be I wish I had spent more in marketing. I wish I had spent more on Facebook. Are they going to say, I wish I had cut costs? What's going to be the takeaway? Because this is going to be for almost everybody, it's going to be a successful holiday season.
Yeah.
Sometimes nobody learns anything because, we were up 3%.
Yeah.
We must be smart. But you could have been up 15%. Might have been able to be up 20%.
I think it'll be, I wish I optimized more of the data to really understand the meaning of it and building out a customer journey map. And if I didn't do it in 2018, it's my big initiative for this year.
Great.
In Q1.
Last question for you. Are there going to be any big failures? Announcement came today that General Motors is laying off 15% of its salaried workers. We watch bikes and scooters and Lyft and Ubers go flying by here. Is the golden age of automobile in the United States over? No.
People still want fancy cars.
They still want fancy. Was that all? But 15% GM in a pretty robust economy. You don't usually see major automakers cutting 15% at a time where there's functionally no unemployment.
That is true.
So, prediction? You still want their fancy cars in America?
I think we'll still see the decline, but I think
It's not falling off the table.
it's not totally falling off the table.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's been
Do you have to
going
get a
on
new
for-
car every year too because of the
There's
twins?
3 cars now,
You have 3 cars?
and only 2 of us drive.
And only 2 of the 4 of you drive? And
We inherit cars, I feel like, in our household.
did you go with a convertible 2-seater to try and get out
Yeah, like a
of
Miata.
I want a Miata. Honey, you take the kids.
See, that's the only reason I say that, because I can't Uber with my children.
Megan Decker, G Media. We'll see her back in about a month. We'll have some Christmas holiday data next time you're on. Sure. And thanks so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the holidays.
You too.
Survive the twins. And what is the famous hashtag?
Hashtag the twins are winning.
And they always are. Love the pictures of the holiday pictures.
God, I don't want to talk
Oh my God.
We'll have wine next session.
We'll be right back in about 30 seconds with Gary Sass, the money man, head of the Hassenfeld Institute at Bryant University. We'll be right back.